Okay, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games, and I have made a game, past tense. So, this Let's Make a Tower Defense game series that I've been running for the last year and a half, 60 plus episodes, has finally come to a close. We have a playable version of the executable. As far as I know, all the bugs that I've been made aware of are gone. It runs pretty well, if I do say so myself. It's a 3D game maker, which is not something you get to say very often. And today we are going to be publishing this on itch.io. So if I can go to, can I create a new project? Dashboard. You can see a lot of my itch.io history, including some like unpublished stuff so far and payment information, which I honestly don't care about. It's not a huge amount of money. Why is Dashlane trying to fill in the things on this page? Okay, you know what? Okay, my password manager will no longer try to autofill everything on this page. The title is Bombardier. The project URL can just be that, because that's fine. Short description or tagline. A 3D tower defense game where you show all the bugs who's boss. That's apparently my tagline. The classification is a game, as opposed to most of the other things that I've made, which would be like game assets. The kind of project is downloadable. Release status is indeed released. The pricing, I'm going to, most of the things on my itch.io account are on a basis of $0 or donate. I'm going to make that the same for this one. The suggested donation, I guess, is going to be $5. Uploads, let's see, this is my YouTube banners folder. Stuff I made. Bombardier win. That's the Windows version. And now this is where things fall apart, because this is where I actually have to think of things to write. I'm gonna procrastinate writing a description. I'm going to stick this in genre. Can be, is there tower defense? There's not a tower defense, but there is there RTS? It doesn't appear so. Strategy or simulation is probably... I'll put it in simulation. Actually, you know what? Google to the rescue. Subgenre of RTS, which I know, due to its real-time origins, although many modern tower defense games include aspects of turn-based strategy, which mine does not. Okay, it's just a strategy. Okay. I guess I'll stick this in strategy. Tags, tower defense. There's a 3D tag. Do people normally like tag games by their engine? Single player, obviously. I have a max of 10. Strategy, real-time strategy. Sometimes I do see tower defense games like categorized as simulation, but I don't really think that's my thing. Bugs. Should I put the like the visual style in it? Like low poly? Okay, so low poly is a suggested tag. How many am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, I guess that's enough. Custom noun. Game is fine. Download and install instructions. Download the zip, extract it, and run the game. Community comments are fine. Visibility and access draft, because we're still working on it. I'm going to save this so far. All of my itch.io projects do have a common like skin theme. Color scheme specifically, I mean. The background color is this. I'm just going to copy and paste this in from something else. The background too is also going to be that, because I don't want the like the white like body fill. The text is going to be white, and the link color is a bit of a greenish, like that. The font. Not gonna mess with the font. Honestly, some people have fun with like their pixel fonts. on their itch.io page, but honestly, I've always thought that was a little bit hard to read. That is a monospace console font. Serif is like Times New Roman. Doesn't even have a name. Lato is apparently the default font, which is fine. Alright, so I'm going to save that. If I were to edit the page, first we need a cover image. And to do this, I'm going to use one of my other cover images as a template. Come on, paste. Did I not? Aquila itch cover. Paste. Okay, so this is going to be Bombardier itch cover. This is going to have like the general shape of all of my other like images for things on itch.io. That barely fits. Let's see. I'm also, I think, going to want the icon. I'll copy this and stick this in my my files for this game out of the workspace, and this can be. I can probably close that by now. You can see I've been working on a bunch of YouTube thumbnails lately. Let us size this down a little bit to 50%. I'm going to attempt to approximately center that. The grid is going to come in handy for such a thing. I'm not sure if it's 100% center because this isn't like a common size like 512 by 320 or anything like that, but alright. I feel like I should have a bit of a stroke around that. Can I copy layer style from, for example, that thumbnail? Paste layer style. I will make this white instead of black, and I will make it somewhat thinner. That way the letters don't run into the black circle. Alright, that is Bombardier itch cover. That's gonna do it. Actually, you know what? For the color scheme for the backgrounds that I've been typically doing for things that I post on itch, except for this Game Jams thing, I've sort of had it in mind that I would go with like a lighter green than the bluish. Alright. Neon was the Opera GX Game Jam thing that I made over last summer, and then missed the submission deadline by like 30 seconds because I wasn't paying attention, because I'm wholly incompetent. But that is a story for another day. Where was that chemistry game? Neon? Neon. The theme was neon. Which I, of course, took in the most literal way possible. Let me just use the eyedropper on that, and let me just use the paint fill tool on the background. Okay, I guess I can select the background. There we go. And we can save this as a PNG. Interlacing, yes please. That'll give me transparency. I can upload the cover image, which is going to be this. And I'm just going to grab a couple of random screenshots. Let's see. I have way too many Windows Explorer folders open right now. I'm just going to, like, run the game a little bit and let's see. I'll take one of the title screen. Get the mouse cursor off of there. Alt print screen will give me a screenshot of the current window. Let's see, I'm just gonna paste this in Microsoft Paint, and I'm just gonna call this like 01, 02, 03, and so on. Let's see. I'm just gonna slap some random scenery down. I feel like having a magnifying glass in there. Alt print screen. Hopefully I've got some fire particles in there. I do not. Okay, there we go. This can be saved as 02. I think I will, like, force unlock all the levels in the game. In other words, I'm going to cheat my own save file by going and editing the little JSON. Player.json. No. I'm, in fact, going to close out of both of these. And the highest level can be 12.0, and that will force unlock everything. I didn't end up adding a delete save progress button, did I? Anyway, this is going to unlock some other things. Let's see, flower fields. I just want it to look busy. I don't care if it actually, like, is a competitive game or not. I just want it to look like things are happening on the screen. It'd be like, let's send in a couple more waves. Maybe like this. Can I have more on the screen? All right, that'll do it. All right, yeah, that's more what I was looking for. This can be 03, and I think I'll go for one more. Actually, no, I want to show off some of the other levels. So let's do the Pirate Cove for one, with a nice, like, bug spray cloud or something like that, and let's have some different variety in towers. All right, that's busy enough, I think. And this is going to be, what, 04? And there's going to be one more. I died. Back to title, anyway. Could show the castle as, like, the final level. I don't know if I want to show the final level. Let's instead do the city. Oh, putting together media for games is such a pain. Not even, like, games, but the other things that I've made and thrown on the internet for people to use, like tools and whatever. Putting together media for those is such a pain. Why are it's another bug. If you have too many torches, apparently the particle system gets overwhelmed. Right, let's fast forward this a little bit. And all right, let's sell that one because having a torch that is not lit in a screenshot on the itch.io page is not really something I want to have up there. This can be 05. Okay. So those are my 5 screenshots. These were saved by MS Paint into the pictures directory. 01 through 5. This needs to be in here. And I can upload these to itch.io. And now it's really just a matter of writing the description. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That order is fine. All right, now to do my least favorite part, and that is writing the description. How do you spell Armageddon? Okay, it just wants to be capitalized. Alright, I'll give it 2 paragraphs of just, like, being silly, and then I'll try to actually write something serious. What should I say? Build towers strategically. Build towers at strategic positions along the track, upgrade them to make them stronger, and fight through waves of enemies trying to waves of creepy crawlies on their way to I guess the association is like it's your campsite that you're defending, because that's what's at the end of every track. All right, I would like to mention that this was made on like in-game Maker Studio, which is uncommon for 3D games, and that it was made like in a series of YouTube videos that were almost the entire development of which was recorded. Let's see. As for like, we've established that this is not a very intense game at all, but as for the system specs for this game aren't very demanding at all, but it feels like I just should have a note about that regardless. It runs okay-ish on a Raspberry Pi. Well, I'm stretching the definition of okay-ish a little. All of the like computers that I've tested it on that are not the Raspberry Pi, it's been fine. Laptops, integrated graphics, whatever. Let's see. System requirements, the game should run on just about anything, but just to be safe, let's make a bulleted list. CPU, anything that's not ancient. RAM, I want to say this should be good on like less than 100 megabytes of RAM, but I guess I'll launch a level and send in everything at once just to see like how it goes when like everything is coming in at once. So if I were to pause the game about now when everything's on the screen, and if I were to look at how much memory this is using, $50 megabytes of memory. Just to be safe, I'll say 100. The amount of space that this takes up is 75 megabytes. Again, just to be safe, I'll say 100 megabytes. Graphics. I'm tempted to just say like yes, as in as long as you're not trying to run this on a software renderer, you should be fine. But I tried to look up benchmarks for the Raspberry Pi 4's graphics capabilities compared to things like consumer laptops or whatever, particularly integrated graphics on laptops. But I wasn't actually able to find much information about it. It's been a few months since I've looked at that. Let me see if I can find something now. Raspberry Pi 4 versus integrated graphics. Yeah, like most of what I saw when I was looking for information about this was just like, its GPU is a Broadcom whatever it is, and it's like it pretty much ended there. But I don't see Raspberry Pi 2 GPU. I am not even going to think about trying to run this game on a Raspberry Pi 2. Alright. Integrated graphics should be fine. Storage 100 megabytes. Requires a 64-bit operating system, because again, I said unless it turns out that there's a large number of people that are interested in a 32-bit operating system. If you look at something like the Steam hardware survey, a vast majority of people on the Steam hardware survey are like on 64-bit Windows. If you add these up, Windows, it's like 95% of users are on some form of 64-bit Windows. I think all OS X users are. All of the top 5 Linux user entries in the list are also 64-bit. So I strongly doubt that a lot of people are not going to be able to play this because it's a 64-bit piece of software. It is 2021, almost 2022. 32-bit OSs are fairly rare these days. Let's give this a small header. Format heading, let's give this heading 3. Yeah, I'll try to run this game on a couple other computers that I have lying around, and like an AMD like Athlon from like 2011, and see how that works. But the CPU requirements for this game are very, very low. Anyway, development. I should say I posted this game's let's see. You would think I would have like bookmarked this. All right, that is the video watch page. That is not the actual playlist, but anyway, copy link address. I forget if itch.io uses Markdown or like an old form of like BB code or something for its formatting.
Hey.
Let's see. These headers should be header 3 to be consistent with each other. I can really close that. The GitHub repository is here. All right, so the source code can be found in this GitHub repository. I will also have a link here. If you run the game through GameMaker, you can access the level editor and some of the other tools that I use to help make it. That, of course, is only available in like the not release mode. The Pi release and the Windows release modes are they have the editor sealed off to prevent people from like accidentally messing with it and not knowing what they did. But I'm going to guess that if somebody is running the source code through GameMaker, then they're more or less aware of how game development works, at least on some level. Let's see. What else is there? Future plans. I mentioned this in the past couple of videos, but I will be like updating this in a couple of weeks to include the actual music, because again, if you haven't heard from the previous videos, the guy who I'm working with for music, Ryan, he was a little bit bogged down with other work for a couple of weeks, and he didn't get to start working on the music for this game until recently. And I should have tried to take care of this in like July, so that this isn't hanging over my head and like something that's going to be holding me up. But either way, it is what it is. Probably sometime in January. It's sounding like it'll be the music will be finished maybe by 2 or 3 weeks from now, the middle of December. We'll see. But let's see. Going forward, let's see. I did say. This is just going to be a list of items, really. This can also be header 3. Let's make this a bulleted list. I do want to. do want to build a Linux version. And I do want to properly test it, particularly like the save system. The Game Maker system sandbox, file system sandbox, should work the same cross-platform. The only difference being the actual location where the files are stored. So we should just be able to like load the save data and the settings and whatnot on Linux as we do on Windows. That is one of the things that the engine does for us, so that we don't have to deal with all the platform nonsense. But I do want to test it all the same. And any, like, there were a couple pieces of visual weirdness that happened, like sometimes towers would randomly not draw, which I'd like to deal with. What else is there? Is it worth like mentioning Opera GX, releasing this on Opera GX and on here? Probably not. Oh, I also I did say it's not out of the question that I might add more content to this later, although I'm not really considering it right now. I have floated the idea that for future Let's Make a Game series, I could, once I've got a couple of them under my belt, I could go back to old things that I've made and, like, add more content to them after the fact. But that's, maybe a discussion for another day. What is my dog doing? Oh, who really understands dogs? Let's see. The game, system requirements, development going forward. There's also, last but not least, credits. And I did say that I probably just, like, borrow this credits list from the GitHub repository. I don't really think it's necessary to credit myself in this case, but icon is that. Many assets are from Kenny.nl, and we're going to set that to open in a new tab. Sonus, the GDC audio vault, is also going to do that. Ryan AVX, the composer. S part by Snyder, or the Snitter really is how he pronounces it, although that's not usually the first pronunciation that comes to mind, so I do mess that up a lot. Okay. Let's give these properly formatted list entries, like that. And all right, I think that's good. So can I save this and view the page?
Hey.
If I were to view the page, we have this. Okay. Does anything that I like screw up anything obvious? Do you harbor an intense hatred for all things creepy crawly? Every time you see a centipede, do you feel the urge to bring Armageddon upon it? Wow. I wrote this and I can't even read it. Does the sight of anything with more than 4 legs make you wish you could just delete the entire universe and start over from scratch? Yeah, me too. Well, you can't actually do those things in this game, but what you can do is play through 12 different tower defense levels, doing everything you can to keep the bugs from carrying out their nefarious goals. This is a tower defense game. Build towers at strategic positions along the track, upgrade them to make them stronger, and fight through waves of creepy crawlies on their way to infest your campsite. System requirements: the game should run on just about anything, but just to be safe. CPU, anything that's not ancient. RAM, 100 megabytes. Graphics, integrated graphics should be fine. Storage, 100 megabytes, requires a 64-bit operating system. Development, I posted this game's development on YouTube, covering about a half hour of work every week for a year and a half. You should go check it out. The source code can be found in the GitHub repository. If you run the game through GameMaker, you can access the level editor and some other tools that I use to help make it. Going forward, once the music in the game is finished, I'll be updating the game to include it. I do want I do want to build a Linux version whenever I have time to properly test it. It's not out of the question that I'll decide to add more content, such as more maps, towers, upgrades, etc. to the game later, but it's not a priority right now. Credits icon is No Bugs by Juicy Fish from the Noun Project. Nice name. Many assets are from Kenya.nl, some audio from Sonus. Music by Ryan AVX, S part by Sindra Larson. Special thanks to my sister for testing the game. Okay. Is it worth mentioning anything about the fact that this is like a 3D game in Game Maker? Just getting the obvious one out of the way. Okay, so I think this is about finished. I can, if I come over here, this is not published, so it will not show up on my itch.io page yet. I should probably, like, do something about some of these ones all the way at the bottom that are, like, many, many years old. Is this even still, like, useful? This is for Game Maker Studio 1. I mean, I got use out of it to find files that were not referenced anywhere in the code, but it's probably not something that many people will be using from here on out. Anyway, I am going to publish this ahead of this video going up. I thought about waiting until this video that you're watching was made public before I publish this, but I do want to have more time to observe what happens for when I make a post-mortem for it later. And if I were to wait until this video goes live, then I'd only have really less than a week to do that. Oh, you know what else I wanted to mention was I will include that point of reference. And I will include that down in the going forward section whenever I have time to get around to that. Okay. Let's see. This is a draft. I can set this to public, and we have published our game. All right, that's exciting. That looks satisfying. Fun. So, that's going to do it for today. I look forward to doing this again. This was a lot of fun. I was initially going to put the next game that I do for a Let's Make a Game series up for a vote, because I have a couple of different ideas that I was floating around my head, well, that I want to make games for, and I think a number of them are things that you all would be interested in for different reasons. But there is one more small-ish game that I want to make, and I've kind of been wanting to do it for a while, and I've decided to just like take this opportunity to go and do that. It should be done in hopefully less than half the time that this one was, but you never know, things go wrong. I will talk a little bit more about it when I do the post-mortem, and then probably in a few weeks, maybe a few months, I will start uploading it. I've already started recording it because I wanted to. One, just because I want to, because I look forward to working on it, but also because I wanted to have a point of reference for different project management strategies when I do the post-mortem later. But this has been fun. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all who've been watching the whole way through. A surprising number of people have actually watched this through to the end. I was expecting a much bigger drop-off in terms of audience retention after the first couple weeks of this. But this has pretty consistently grabbed 100 viewers per week. And the audience retention stats haven't been too bad either. So thank you all for being here. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. I hope you all found this very, very interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Edward Holt, Emily Koyo, Gunnar Clovis, Posha, Sindra Larson, Squarecrow, Tusk, and Zenjamin for supporting these videos. If you want to see your name in the credits or hear yourself shouted out at the end like this, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.